Crypto God here, and today I have a great guest. He's not promising to take people to the moon, but he's promising he's going to get you somewhere. Or at least that's his greatest, dearest hope. Because he has the right understanding in his community that this game here is always the long game. Quick gains come with quick loss. Introduce yourself, my friend.
Hi there, Crowley. So my name is Ashley Ward, and I'm the owner of Roocoin.
There we go.
So that's me.
Yeah. So Ashley Ward here. We've had some talk beforehand because I always do a little bit of talking shop before we do these interviews, right? Like, because I think it's a very important thing because I have a genuine rapport with Ashley Ward here now, right? Like Ashley, me and you have a real rapport because we just had a really good conversation.
Absolutely, yeah.
So when people hear me talking to these people like I know them, well, I just got done having a real conversation for like an hour typically before the interview. So
yeah, absolutely.
If he contradicts himself, which he won't because he's a genuine motherfucker, he's a good guy, I would call him on it. Same thing with any other guest. So I'm saying right now, strap in. We're going to have a nice ride, okay?
Sounds fun.
Yeah. And notice, he's not nervous. He's like, yeah, of course, I'm going to convey the truth. So what is the truth of Roocoin?
Yeah, so it's a very new project. It's only about 3 weeks old today, I believe, although it feels about 6 months already. We've achieved quite a lot in that 3 weeks. So essentially, the best way to describe Roocoin, it's a crypto version of GoFundMe. So it's a charity-based token that aims to give back to communities. So as opposed to donating to charities themselves, we're donating to people that need the funds the most. It's completely decentralized, so our holders get to submit the local causes they want to help, and of course vote amongst themselves as to which ones they want to help that particular week. So that's kind of Roocoin in a nutshell, really. But also, most importantly, we're building a lot of utility around the coin. So rather than just having charity as our only selling point, we're building a decentralized exchange, very similar to kind of like pancakeswap, an NFT marketplace, and a wallet application, which is quite unique because it allows you to stake your NFTs and earn Roocoin for holding them on there. So that's kind of Roocoin in a really short description, really.
That's great. That's pretty cool, actually. Like, because here's the thing. People at home know that I go in a little bit blind, so I can be genuinely excited about the things. I'm like, I didn't even know about the exchange. That's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, to be fair, we didn't speak about that, actually. We spoke about everything but the exchange.
Yeah, we talked about mostly everything except the coin beforehand. Let's be honest. Like me and Ashley are just sitting about talking about movies and, Shatner.
And we finally got that. We finally got that name in the end.
We finally got Shatner's name pinned down. Got Captain Cook. Con. But you get it, But that's the thing, right? Because a lot of people that come to the podcast, yes, they want to know about your product, right? But they're also super curious about how you guys think about, where's the money going, whose pockets is getting lined, who is getting the, what's it all about? What is this person about? Can I trust them? Right? So what is the major thing, right? If you were to tell people at home to trust you, what's the number one thing that you would help build assurance to the holders and potential investors?
Biggest thing really is transparency and approachability as well. So in two ways. So the transparency aspect, the way our coin works is a 1% tax is taken off the top any trading. That's going to be turned off though when the exchange and the marketplace goes live. That 1% is sent to a charity wallet, which you can look at on the website anytime you want to. So you can see how much is in there. When our new website goes live at the end of this week, you'll be able to track every single transaction in that wallet. So I know there's a lot of charity tokens out there. I'm not going to name them or bash them because there's some great projects. But some of them aren't as transparent as in terms of how much is sitting in them wallets and where them funds are going to. So in our case, that's very much the opposite. So you can track every single penny, what the cause it was sent to, and just track every last dollar. And you can see that not one penny is going anywhere else, which is the big selling point, really. So it's the transparency aspect and also the approachability. So, I mean, I'm active on all our social accounts. I mean, I'm probably averaging about 500 DMs a day on Telegram at the moment. So, so I kind of put myself out there on the socials. And people can reach out to me personally or amongst the mods in our group. So So yeah, it's just having that approachability and transparency really that I don't think any other coins really got going for them. So.
That's awesome, man. And you know what? It is true. You are approachable because when I slid into your DMs, right? Mm-hmm. That's how you ended up here. Now, little did I know, Ashley is not the beautiful blonde I thought, but
sorry to disappoint you there. But,
there's like I've done a lot of interviews and I've talked to like one chick this entire time and I'm like, where's the women, right? Like, not that I'm like trying to find a girlfriend, but I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, 99% of the people I've talked to are dudes. Where's the female crypto entrepreneurs, man? Like, where are they, Ashley? Do you know where they've gone? Do they exist outside of the one I've talked to?
Unfortunately, I can't help you there. If I knew, I'd certainly tell you.
It's
but yeah,
it's an odd observation, right? Yeah, like,
sure.
We see more often than not, it's men that are these developers. When honestly, women are pretty capable people. Like, they're just as capable. Like, there's no reason why they can't be developers too.
Absolutely.
And it's just, I don't know. It's those one of those tangents that I get where I'm like, huh? Because I'm. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying. I am perfectly happy being alone. You know, I don't have to answer to anybody. If I don't clip my toenails, I don't get yelled at. It's a whole thing. You know, it's a whole thing. But it's
absolutely.
It's really, really curious though, the crypto sphere and how, like we were talking about beforehand too, right? We were talking about how like you've been approached by so many people promising things.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so many things and so many things and so many things. So really for you, right, being that you're on the opposite side of most people.
Yep.
How do you sift through all the deception that's out there?
That's a very good question. By dedicating many, many hours of my time getting to know people and working out, you get a feel for these things, I think. So you can usually tell in the first few messages of dialogue whether they're genuine or not. So I mean, don't be wrong. I've had some great people approach us for partnerships and to help us over the last few weeks. But I'd probably say that's a very small percentage of those that actually reached out. So, but you know, there's some great people out there that really, really enjoy the Roocoin and obviously want to help us out. So, and I'm very grateful for them people. So I just have to. It's just time. Just have to go through them all the messages and work out the gems over the kind of not so much gems really. So. But yeah, it's been a great experience over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. Because like I didn't realize, and this isn't in reference to you at all, by the way, right? We're just like shooting the shit, talking about this crypto sphere that's out there. I didn't realize how many scumbags were involved in crypto till I started doing this podcast, right?
Sure.
And I've seen so many people get robbed blind. And
I was referred to it as the Wild Wild West, unfortunately, which is what it's become now. So
it's crazy. Like there was this one guy that we had very early on. He was like my third interview, and before we could even publish the interview, which me and you have talked, right? We have very quick turnaround. Yep. He messaged us, begged us not to publish the video because he's like, one of the developers wrote a backdoor into the contract, into the code, and stole all the liquidity.
Wow.
And that's happened to 2 developers since I started this podcast, like 2 weeks ago. And I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, holy shit. And I feel really bad about one of them because he paid for an ad on one of the other channels out of his own bank account.
Yeah.
Like he spent his money, not his tokens money, his money. And I'm like, God damn, where's the decency, right? Because it's like people are forgetting that people are people.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And that's one thing that obviously we haven't spoken about this aspect of it, but it is on the website for anyone that wants to read it up. So, which is roocoin.com. A bit of a shameless plug there, but yeah.
This whole interview is a shameless plug, Ashley.
That's fair enough. Yeah, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, that's how I never set out to make a crypto at all. I've been in crypto now for about 10 years as a trader. Done very well out of it. I've seen the ups and downs, the bear markets, the bull markets. But the last 3 months, I've seen, like you said, all the scams, all the things that have been going on behind the scenes. So I actually initially set up a group to help people, to educate them into rug pulls, into all the different things. And they would send me coins. I would do a bit of crypto forensics on the contracts. And I'd say, yeah, this one's safe, this one's not safe. And it wasn't until about 3 months after doing that when I seen just how active these communities can become. They go under the pretense of a community coin, and they're very much not that. They're just a way for the developers to get rich a lot of the time. So that's why I made this, really. I just thought, you know what, there's a real need here for a community coin. And people get so passionate about these things, especially with the charity aspect as well. But of course, they get disheartened because they put all their time and their money into these projects, and 3 or 4 weeks down the line, they turn out to be something they're not. So that was kind of how Roocoin was born, really. It was kind of a out of necessity for me. So, and I don't want to stop that education either. We're going to do that moving forward with Roocoin as well. We're going to continue that.
So real quick, this used two words that no one's explained to the audience at home on this podcast yet, right?
Yeah.
The bullish and bearish. And like, I have people that follow the podcast who are, their whole reason for following it is to educate themselves, right? So explain the difference to the people at home.
Yeah, I mean, in 2 words, you mean, yeah?
Yeah, bearish and bullish.
Bearish, sell everything. Bullish, buy everything. So, but no, I mean, in simple terms, I mean, when you're in a bull market, I mean, let's be honest, anyone can make money out of crypto. It's pretty straightforward. Everything's just going up and up and up. When you're in a bear market, it's the complete opposite. So essentially, projects are trending down. You can still make money. You can short coins, that type of thing. Take long positions on them. But yeah, they're very different spaces. So, and I do believe that the crypto space will change when the bear market sets in. No one knows when that's going to be. I mean, people always tout this date of September, but I mean, if everyone's working on the basis of September, it's probably not going to be that. So, but yeah, I mean, ultimately, anyone can make money in a bull market, but when a bear market comes, it's a lot more difficult, really. So, but that's one of the reasons why with Roocoin we're going to be pairing, because as we've seen last week with the market crash, when Bitcoin goes down, it affects pretty much every other coin on the market because most of them are tethered to it. So with Roocoin, we're going to be pairing more to stable coins so that we're going to be less affected by the bear market when it does finally come. So that's the kind of plan with that, really. So, but yeah, I mean, that's ultimately the difference between the two markets.
There you go. Because I have this listener at home. She used to be a paralegal. And she's constantly texting me about the podcast. Constantly texting me, right? She's retired now. And she's like, this is great. This is bad. This is awesome. Da, 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 da. And I'm like, I want to respond to every text, but I get one. She slowed down a little bit, but I was getting one on every video, right? And she doesn't know anything about crypto. And I think that's the beautiful thing about people like you and things like this channel. It gives people the opportunity to learn.
Yeah.
And education is so important in this. I call it do your own research, right? Because you have to do your own research, not just doing your research. I'm talking about you got to really dig in.
Yep.
Because
and it's hard if you've never done it before. It's hard to know where to start with that, really, especially when you start looking at the BSC scans or for example, for Binance, and you want to start doing kind of forensics on these coins. It's difficult to know where to start. So that's what I was doing for people, not just me, 2 other people as well were doing it. So I can't take all the credit. But yeah, we weren't paid for that work. We're just helping people. So, and some of the stories we heard in that time were horrendous. One guy put $45,000 of his life savings in there. He was actually up to 90,000, so he doubled his money. And it probably took me about 4 hours to convince him that the coin he was invested in was going to crash in the next 6 hours, and to get his money out. Thankfully, he listened. He took his money out, and the coin did exactly as expected. It crashed the next day. So, another guy put $14,000 of his wedding fund without his potential wife knowing. I don't think the wedding would have gone ahead if we hadn't got him out when we did. So, I mean, for me, that was all about giving back to the. I mean, I love crypto. I love the technology behind it. I just don't want to see it fail because people take advantage of people. So, and I'm not a big fan of regulations, which unfortunately we may have at some point as a result of what's going on. But yeah, so that was kind of the necessity of Roocoin. Really, it was just to create a safe environment for people to kind of put their money, invest in a project, and also do some good with it as well. So.
Right, and there's not necessarily there's this whole thing out there, right? Where they're talking about the regulations don't exist, but there actually are some. And I don't know if you know about this. If you do a contest, right?
Yep.
As a coin, you have to have the rules explicitly viewable. Like they have to be clear because it's illegal to do a contest that includes an American audience without a set of rules. So let's say a coin does a contest, right?
Yep.
And let's say they don't reward it, right? Which people are thinking, well, they're going to get away with it. What's the regulations? Incorrect. If they don't have the rules posted, they can actually get fined by the FTC for hosting a contest, not because of cryptocurrency, but a contest, one, for not delivering, and two, for not having rules posted.
I didn't know that. No. They've taught me something new there. So.
Yeah, it's
thankfully, all our contests do have the rules listed. So
yeah, that's important, right? But that actually helped me out when I was doing some stuff for some other guys, and I was supposed to win this contest, and I was supposed to get like $10,000, and then 3 days afterwards, they disqualified me and announced a different winner. And I said, you can't actually do this. And they're like, well, you cheated. I'm like, actually, no, I used my channel influence to win the contest, which also, motherfucker, you didn't have rules posted. Like, it doesn't even matter if I did what you said, you had no rules.
Yeah.
Right? Which
I didn't know. I didn't know that at all. Yeah.
So I pretty much told them, I'm like, either you correct it or I contact the FTC, and the FTC investigation, which would be public knowledge, will zero out your coin. Act right.
Yeah. Because
here's the thing. I don't swing my dick like that all the time. You know what I mean? I'm very reasonable. But in the same breath, if you cheat me, I will end you. It's pretty. Crypto God creates, crypto God destroys, motherfucker.
Well, almost sounds like a movie line. So,
like, no, it'd be very, very simple, right? Like with my public voice, all I would have to say is such and such coin did not deliver on their promise, and that goes out to their community. What's going to happen? Yep. You know, that's the checks and balances right there. When you have a voice like mine, I could start holding people accountable because public opinion will hold them accountable.
Yeah.
Because
and that was one of the reasons. That was one of the reasons why we did the transparency side of things as well, because we want other coins to be pressured into doing what we're doing. So, I mean, if we're going above and beyond any other coin in terms of transparency, and someone else goes into a totally different coin and says, "Well, why can't you be as transparent as these guys?" If they say no, we can't, then that gives you an idea they're hiding something.
Right. Now, there's two sides to the transparency when it comes to doxing, which I've talked about a few times.
Yep.
It can be potentially dangerous for the developer, right? Outside of, like, because things happen that are outside of our control, right?
Yep.
Nobody wants to get death threats or get tracked down at their house and killed.
Sure.
You know, I don't know if you've read the stories of what, like, the actual dangers of doxing can be, by the way. I don't know if you've done the research on that. Because
no.
I originally, when I started this thing, I was like, I was only going to take guests that were doxed, right?
Yep.
And then I just looked up crypto doxing. And then I read some actual horror stories where, like, the person that was the developer got hacked and the person stole the liquidity and sent it to themselves.
Wow.
Yeah. So there's a fine balance. You know what I mean? There's a thing of protecting yourself, but also being transparent. You can protect your identity and still be transparent. It's not revealing your address and location and all that isn't a lack of transparency, okay? There's a reason why a lot of people don't know where famous people live.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. I was actually watching an interesting video the other day. Actually, was Charles Hoskinson. I can never pronounce his name correctly. Charles Hoskinson, the owner of Cardano, which is obviously a very, very genuine project. But he said that he's had countless death threats, anthrax packages to his house, been burgled twice, and that's just because people have bought into the project, mistimed the markets, which is no fault of his. Mm-hmm. And of course, they're naturally looking for someone to blame, so they just start blaming him, and he's the forward face of the company. So, you know, that was quite an interesting kind of video to watch. I felt really sorry for him, you know, what he'd been through. So,
right.
But yeah, I mean, naturally, when you're kind of front of the company, so to speak. So, I mean, if people mistime the market and make a bad decision of their own, which, as you know, crypto is very volatile. Mm-hmm. They just look to you to blame you for it, even though it's not necessarily your fault. So,
right.
So that, you know, I am aware of that.
With Refinable, right?
Yeah.
And Mr. Beast had his face all over that project.
Sure.
And the problem was, he was a victim too.
Yeah.
But absolutely. Because they had him fooled and he endorsed it, it nearly ruined him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So,
you know, and that's also the problem with being like a YouTuber and having your name out there too, in your, especially like your name and your face, people on the internet are crazy.
Yeah, that's certainly true.
Because crazy people got internet too, bro. I got approached by a coin that wanted me to be responsible for like giving away millions of dollars to charity, right?
Yep.
And I said, I ain't gonna dox myself. You're insane.
Of course.
You're insane. Like, I don't want, like, I do an interview with one of you motherfuckers, right? Meaning developers. And then something bad happened to the coin, then I'm getting like a bunch of angry holders showing up at my house. No!
Sure.
Like my voice is identifiable enough. Like I get recognized in public based off my voice because of my other work on YouTube.
Sure.
I don't need more exposure. I like my privacy.
As so do I as well. So I mean that's the problem, isn't it? I think some of these coins they were scams off the offset. The people behind them were very much set them up as that way. Other coins had the right intentions, but maybe they hired the wrong team members that then took advantage of that trust. So, I mean, me personally, I'm a control freak. So, and no one's got control of the keys but me. So, and if the book's going to lie with me, the kind of responsibility is going to lie with me too. So,
well, there you go.
That's the kind of way I operate with this.
So, if they got to headhunt anybody, if it ends up being a rug pull, it's you.
Yep, 100%. Yeah.
That's good to know, though. But from way you're talking, because me and him had a really long talk, right? It wouldn't really surprise me, like, not too in the distant future, to see Roocoin hit $1, like, legitimately. I mean, sure. you of course, you're never going to make that promise, right? Because predictions are insanity, right? And I'm not making a prediction, okay? I'm saying it would not surprise me.
Sure.
But
no, it wouldn't surprise me either. I mean, one of the reasons why we came up with the tokenomics we came up with, because we wanted to create a coin that had a real possibility of hitting $1. Some of these coins have crazy supply levels. They need to hit ridiculous market caps. We only have a supply of 400 million. So it's a very achievable target. Again, I'm not saying it's going to hit that, but we certainly have a lot better chance than anyone else.
Right. But, like, here's the thing. Look at Doge for a second.
Yep.
Just look at Doge for a second. Doge has been around for like 6 years.
Sure.
And it's just now taken off in the current history of social memory, right?
Yeah.
That's the thing. If you build something that lasts, you're not really worried about it taking off.
No, absolutely, yeah. So, I mean, for me, the most important thing for us is to hit our roadmap. And I think the rest of it will follow suit as a result of that. So, our roadmap is very ambitious, but we're ahead of schedule by a mile. So yeah, I mean, we're just focusing on our roadmap. That's the most important thing, and the rest, I think, will just come naturally to that. So,
and that's like the important thing, right? Delivering on your roadmap, which is your promises.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's one thing to be excited. Like, I get excited because I understand project potential. I probably understand potential better than most people because I work with people's potential all the time. Like, personnel development is like my number one. I like developing people. So I see people's potential all the time because I see them in a very finite limitlessness, if that makes sense. Like, I understand what their potential is, which every person has limitless potential if they apply themselves.
Of course.
But it's finite in the sense of that's set in stone.
Yeah.
So when I come across a person and I see them selling themselves short, especially when they don't deserve it. We all know those people that don't deserve to break themselves down, right?
Sure.
Like, they're doing a good job. It's just them getting to them. It's the very difference of you see a person who's not doing a good job and has inflated themselves up. And you got to break that person down so they can get a proper perspective on themselves so then they can reach their potential. Now, that's not much different than these charts because you can analyze what the developer's saying, analyze the contracts, do a little bit of research, look and see what they're doing. Are they hitting their roadmaps? What are they doing for their communities? What's their activity level?
Yeah.
And you're able to see what that potential is being used for. Because the truth is, every coin, regardless of what the it is, has the potential to make you rich. The potential is always there.
Yeah, 100x is 100x, regardless of what the price is. So,
right. The potential is always there. Yep. But here's the thing. Do not confuse potential with effect, with action, with results. Yep. Don't confuse the two Because just because Roocoin can go 1,000x, I'm not saying it could tomorrow, right? But if it did tomorrow,
it'd be nice if it did, though.
it would be amazing, right? When it could,
Sure.
Realistically, all it would take is the right people catching on at the right time.
Sure.
Is it realistic to say that? Absolutely not.
Sure.
But the potential is there at any given moment. That's why I always encourage people, let's do conservative investing. Let's eat out less once a week and take that money differential and invest into a new project and spread it out.
Absolutely.
Don't put, I will never understand people that will drop 40 grand into one thing rather than
I don't understand that either.
dropping 1 grand into 40 things.
Yeah, just it's the old saying, isn't it? Don't put your eggs into one basket. So.
Yeah. I mean, certain times it's acceptable, right, to do that. But not when you're talking about volatile markets or, especially with new cryptocurrencies, because you don't know what they're plotting sometimes, right? And by no means is this applying to Roocoin, right? It is life advice, not financial advice. You have to demonstrate some wisdom, because if you can't afford to lose your wedding fund, you probably shouldn't put it in crypto.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So
because
and that's one of
look what China did, right?
Well.
China crashed the market, and it was nobody's fault, and a lot of people lost a lot.
Absolutely, yeah. So I mean, we can't control these things; they're out of everyone's control, aren't they? So.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
but
I think that's one of the things as well that's different with us, because we actually discourage people from putting large amounts of money into Roocoin. It's probably counterproductive for us, but I mean, I would much rather someone put $100 that they're not going to miss and kind of have some fun with it and do some good with that money and see their investment grow over time, than kind of put, like you said, $40,000 and then panic every time we have a market crash or a dip. So I just think it's a much more ethical way of doing things. Right.
I bet you're happy even if they put $5 in.
Oh, 100%, yeah. Anything's appreciated, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. That is the thing. I was talking, my Uber driver, I told the story on previous podcasts. Her husband put all their life savings into one coin and it evaporated.
Yeah.
Like, guys, yes, you can get rich fast off of crypto. It's a proven fact. It's happened. But you got to think first.
Sure.
Like,
I don't like that. I don't like that side of it as well, because a lot of it's become more gambling now as opposed to investment. So I mean, it's just like putting money into a slot machine, isn't it? Really. So
yeah,
especially with a lot of these meme coin, hype coins. I mean, there's some great projects that around there, but there's also some not great projects. And it's just it's become more like gambling as opposed to investment, which I'm not really a big fan of at all. So, with Roocoin, it's definitely an investment, but other projects, I think it's an out-and-out gamble, really, which is fine if that's what you like to do.
You know what annoys me?
Just don't gamble your life savings,
yeah, don't gamble your life savings. Sorry for interrupting you, right? But you know what really annoys me? Like, investment has always been the long game.
Yeah.
Gambling is fast, right?
Sure.
What agitates the out of me is these people that are like, so when Lambo, when we go into the moon, when we get in this millions, bro. And like, I'm talking to some of these devs that are dealing with these communities. They're at their wits' end, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
they're at their wits' end.
Yeah, we go out of our way to discourage that sort of dialogue around Roocoin. In fact, it's on our FAQs on our homepage. So literally, we address it. One of our first FAQs is when Lambo, when Moon. We just want to just put that out there. That's not what we're about. We're about long-term steady growth, as opposed to kind of 100x in a day and gone tomorrow.
So the goal is to be a stable coin.
Yeah, really, yeah. So I think, we're certainly on track to do that as well.
And that's there, right? That's the big takeaway for you crypto heads is stable coin, right?
Yeah.
For those who don't know what a stable coin point is, what that means, stable coin, for the audience at home, it is coins that don't fluctuate much in the market. They just have gradual growth.
Yep.
And like, unless you intend to sit on a chart and then prepare for some slippage when it changes rapidly while you're trying to exchange it, you need
to.
Been there. Yeah. You're telling me, right? I hate it. I hate it so much. Like, I love crypto. Don't get me wrong. I love it, right? We talk about it all day, every day. But like, god damn, bro. Like, here I am thinking I'm pulling out $5,000 and pull out 2.
Yeah.
You know, like, it's not that drastic, really. But, like, man, bro. it's just, I think if we can just, I think all the people that went to Lambo should just all hang out together and only with them. Those Lambros, man. Like, stay away from me, please. And, you know, I would love to have a Lambo. I'm going to have one day. Why not? But
yeah, sure.
I want to do it over time so I don't lose everything.
Personally, I'd rather have an Audi RS7. That's my thing. So,
well, I want the tank. You know, that SUV that's bulletproof, grenade-proof, RPG-proof. I want that.
Yeah.
I think that's a better use of my money.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what? You might have just convinced me there. I'll change mine to a tank as well. So.
Yeah. They're so cool, bro. They have smoke screen.
You need really a bit of smoke screen and a bit of bulletproof glass. So.
That's all you need, really. Someone tailgating you, activate the smoke screen. Like, can you just imagine how pissed off that person would be? Like, you know what I thought about doing too? Like, for people like that, it'd be highly unsafe for the person tailgating me, but I would love to put just like strobe lights and like a floodlight in my back window behind like blacked out glass. When they get too close, just flip it on, flip it off.
I think you've got a big problem with tailgating in the States than like we have in the UK. So.
Just piss me off, man. Let me drive the speed limit, please.
Yeah, it's nice to know that problem's worldwide, not just limited to us. So,
it's not really nice. It's just people need to act right.
Sure.
You know, like, do you know how high the chance is for you to cause an accident if you follow too close to me, motherfucker? Just back the off.
Yeah, especially when I've got my 4 kids in the car. It's like, yeah, just back off a bit. So.
I got my kid in the car. Like, I've been in 2 totaled cars in the past, like, 3 months. No reason of my own, right? So now I just, like, I drive really safe because I'm done replacing vehicles.
Sure.
I'm done. That's why I want the tank, because I'm pretty sure I could be in a situation that would total a car and I'd be all right.
I'd say you probably come off better off in the tank, so you're pretty safe in that regard. So.
Yeah. Well, I never really get too injured. It's more just the financial drain of replacing cars. I could care less about getting hurt. It pisses me off I have to replace the thing.
It's just the inconvenience factor, yeah?
It's the You know how long you have to sit on the side of the road when you total a car? I got places to be. Like, and my kid's been in the car there in one of them, right? And all she's doing is complaining about us having to sit there.
Yeah.
If I have to listen to my 9-year-old complain one more time about a car being totaled or broken down, I'm killing someone. Not really, but goddamn, like, I'm like, kid, we have to wait here. Car don't go. Like, we got a flat tire, you know, something completely out of my control. She's just complaining about us having to sit there. I'm like, kid, if you were adopted, you wouldn't be anymore. Stop it. But I find more often than not, though, these people in these communities are like my 9-year-old.
Yeah.
No patience.
Oh, yeah. Well, I've experienced that myself. So.
No comprehension of how the real world works when it comes to these economic things.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. And I think also as well, it's probably not helped that they have been, you see these projects that do 100x in a week, or they do have great success in a short period of time, and everyone automatically assumed that every project's going to do that. And that's quite a unique thing. I mean, it doesn't happen very often. You probably got to invest in 30 bad projects to find that one good one.
Right.
And even so, you've got to get your money out quick enough. If it goes up that quickly, if you don't get it out quick enough, you're going straight back down again. So.
Right. That's the thing. That's why, like, there's a lot of people that I personally know that every time we launch a podcast, as long as the person sounds like they know what they're talking about, they drop $5 onto the coin.
Yeah.
And which is a great business strategy, because everybody I talk to is new on the market.
Yep.
There's not a better time to invest than when the coin first launches.
Oh yeah, it's the best. It's 100% the best time.
So, like, it's a great investment strategy because they're only dropping, like, 5 here, 10 there. I know one guy that dropped 1,000 on one. I'm like, oh no, no, because he's like, oh, you put 1,000 in that? I'm like, because I had stuff that didn't cost me money.
Yeah.
And
that's the great.
Then we both lost like 750. I'm like, bro, don't do what I do. I'm just following hunches. Stop it.
Yeah. Well, obviously, everyone's comfort zone is different, isn't it? Really. So, $1,000 to one person is a lot of money, and $1,000 to another person isn't so much. So, just do what you're comfortable with. That's the most important thing. So,
yeah. Yeah, man. Absolutely. So,
but
if you were
that's what I've loved about our community. Like, I mean, everyone listening to this is probably going to be aware of the market crash that happened last week, where Bitcoin kind of lost 60-70% of its value in a single day. But yeah, I mean, our group was really chill. Everyone was kind of just relaxing and talking about very different things, whereas other groups were in complete and utter panic. So, a lot of these coins that had gone 100x over the last 3 weeks pretty much ended below their listing price. Obviously, ours did go down too, but not to the same levels as the other coins did, because everyone just chilled and just said, well, we're holding for the long term. We're not going to sell. So very different environment. So I'm very proud of our community for that. So, and we've got some great guys that do technical analysis and just kind of keep the conversation on track, really. So it's been really nice to watch.
Sounds like a very peaceful atmosphere.
Oh, 100%, yeah. So it's a very different vibe to any other coin that I've experienced, to be honest with you. So obviously, I'm biased, so...
Right, obviously, how can we trust you? You're biased. But I will say this. Ashley does not want stress on his plate, doesn't like drama. No. Sure. And he doesn't let it go down in his community. He tells people to sell if they become an issue.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. We've done that several times with people that have been asking about the Moon Lambo. It's just like, look... I appreciate you coming on board with us, but this isn't the project for you. And we've told them to sell. I mean, they actually didn't sell; they still stay with us. So they probably appreciated that honesty. So,
right.
But if it's not the right project for them, I'll tell them, really. So I want people to understand what this is. It's a long-term investment, and don't put your life savings into it. Just put what you can afford to kind of invest and have some fun with it. And we've done so much great with this already in our first week. We raised $25,000 in the first 24 hours, which I was really, really surprised with. That surprised even me. So, and we've helped some great people as a result of that as well. So, we helped a little boy called Julian, who's 7 years old, in Norway. He's sadly suffering from cancer. He needed kind of experimental treatment to hopefully save his life. So we paid that in full. So he's now getting that treatment. We give $10,000 to a kangaroo sanctuary in Australia. So there's even a possibility of adopting a kangaroo at a later stage, because why not? Everyone loves kangaroos. And then the other one is it's a charity in the Philippines called the Hayag Charitable Foundation. So we give them $10,000. They go out and they feed people in the poorest parts of the Philippines. So we've helped 3 causes already in our first week. And we're just about to do the voting round actually tonight for a new batch of causes. So we're on track for helping sort of 12 to 15 people a month. So across the year, that's 100. I'm not the greatest at maths, but about 120, 140 people a year. It's not about, to me, it's not about the amounts of money. It's about the amount of people we can help. So we're all about smaller community donations as opposed to just giving $1 million to a big charity and watch them do what they please with it. Just give it direct to the people.
That's great. And that's what really people want.
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah.
It's great. It's great to do charities to big organizations. It's great.
Yeah.
It's a great tax write-off.
Yeah.
Right? But it's also great, in my opinion, it's better when you put it to an organization and you see that money put to work immediately.
Absolutely, yeah. In fact, in the case of the charity in the Philippines, obviously COVID permitting, we want to fly a film crew out there to film the impact that money's had, and to film their great organisation as well and what they do on a daily basis. And we're going to do that with a lot of these projects, because my background is a filmmaker, so I have a film crew pretty much on standby for these things. So our holders not only get to see the good that we do initially by seeing the testimonials and seeing the thank you notes from people, but also they get to see follow-up videos of that as well, and see the impact that money's had, especially in the case of the foundations and the different charities that they're probably not going to spend that in a week, probably going to spend over 12 months, so they can see how that progresses. So it's great to see that kind of come to play.
It's fantastic, man. It sounds like there's a lot of positive things going on for Roocoin. So people at home... Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that's what we are. We're all about positivity. This whole project. And like I said last week when the market crashed, our positivity stayed there. That's what we were all about. So, positivity and keeping our goals and our roadmap in mind. That's what matters to us.
So people, if you want to join a community that's about the long term, it sounds like to me that Roocoin is a very welcoming place. We've spent some time with Ashley now. Me and Ashley now are going on like almost 2 hours of continuous conversation. But here's the thing. Don't go in there acting like, when's the Lambo coming? Because, but really, if you want to join a community where you have the opportunity to have long-term investment returns, Roocoin may be the place for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So with that being said, folks, go ahead. Sorry.
I was just going to add to that to say that everyone's welcome regardless of how much they donate, and even if it's just $1, you're still playing part into doing some good in the world. So we'd love to have you aboard. So.
Absolutely. Now, folks, remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and to share to your friends, and ring the bell to get all the notifications to get information of these new amazing cryptocurrencies that are coming out every day. Now, there's only one thing left to say. Hold all that shit.